Exactly like that. That chatter. A few days ago, I overheard a conversation between my mother and a friend. I was overhearing them because obviously I had nothing better to do. The auntie was telling my mum about how successful her daughter was. Immediately, I imagined a businesswoman in a suit and tie. What about you? What did you first imagine when I said the word successful? Maybe an engineer, or a specialized surgeon, or even a lawyer. If you thought that, congratulations, you're normal. Because nowadays, these professions have become synonyms for success. We all believe to be successful, you have to be academically strong. It's not just you. For decades, this has been the case. But we, lucky us, are the first generation to feel the change, the demand for more hours, more effort, more competition and exams. The young generation is filled with expectations to shine in academics from a young age. A child of mere 7th or 8th grade is pushed into institutions for foundations for competitive exams. But at what cost? I don't need big surveys of numbers to prove it to you. Let me just tell you about some of my friends. One of them scores a 99 and still ends up crying for that 1 mark. One of them doesn't care about the exam at all until the night before. And one of them is too faithful to even open a book. All of us have different personalities on the outside, but inside, we all feel the same pressure. I don't need to reintroduce this topic to you all. I mean, who hasn't watched AIR or Quota Factory series? They all scream the same message. Academic pressure is real. What we as students need is holistic development. Holistic is such a big, fancy word, but really, it just means don't end up like my nerdy brother. He's right there. Anyways, can he solve quantum physics and crack selective exams? Yes. But can he order a single extra packet of ketchup at a restaurant without struggling? No, he cannot. And that's exactly what happens when you give all your time to exams, assignments, and homeworks. You miss out on little everyday things that actually make up life. Now we barely spend any time on hobbies, extracurricular sports. But what about when you were younger? What about when you were 8 years old? How was your life back then? What memories do you have? I have memories of playing with my parents, learning with my friends, and being hand-fed food by my grandma. Most of us must have experienced this, right? But what about now? What about today? Do you still continue to do a variety of activities? I know I don't. Years down the road, when I'm 90, I don't want to look back and remember sleepless nights, drowning in studies. I want to remember wasting time with my friends. I want to remember the silly things we did that made life worth living. One hand, you have a life that's filled with sleepless nights and empty dining tables. One with laughter and memories. Which life do you want to look back upon? Well, when I was in 9th grade, my evenings were no longer mine. I used to rush from school to tuition and back home to finish homework. Dinner with my parents became a quick plate on the table while I memorized formula. One evening, my father asked me if I wanted to join him for a walk. I said I can't, I have a test tomorrow. He smiled, but I could see the disappointment in his eyes. That that walk never happened. And months later, I realized I don't remember that test, but I still remember the walk I didn't take. That was my silent cost of success, the memory I never made. One child misses a walk with her father, another misses a birthday party, another misses sleep. Different stories, same silent cost. I want you to know that if someone sees you and says, "Stop playing in the rain, it's a waste of time, you could be studying instead." Excuse me, singing, gardening, stargazing, these aren't wastes of time. They all teach us different things. Singing teaches you balance between melody, harmony, and voice. Gardening teaches you growth takes time, care, and consistency. The vastness of the starry sky reminds us that marks and exams are small compared to the bigger picture of life. And the rain teaches us that umbrellas are absolutely useless if the wind doesn't like you. Trust me, the wind has personal grudges. By now, all of you must be wondering, come on, Naisha, how can we be successful if we don't throw ourselves into only studies? So, let me tell you about a little girl from a small town in India in the 90s. She was a chatterbox, her father's darling princess, and pampered by her grandma. At just 10 years, she cracked the entrance to a prestigious residential school. But as soon as she got there, in this new and unknown place, she realized she couldn't stay there. She needed the hug of her mother, the aroma of Sunday biryani, and the time with her family. She, as a little girl, made the decision to go back home, despite her father being worried about the academic opportunities she would miss. Because she felt that missing time with her family was not the right cost to pay for the so-called success. Back at home, her learning never stopped. She learned creativity from daily rangolis, storytelling from grandparents, mental strength from family bonding, and even debating from siblings. All of this helped her grow as a person. She grew in every way possible. Fast forward 20 years, she went on to become the first woman in her family to join the IT industry and the first to go abroad. This little girl is my mom. And today, she's successful in more ways than I can describe. Her story is living proof to all of us that it is holistic development which takes us to greater heights and happiness than pouring ourselves into textbooks. So, the next time you're planning to shut the door and get buried in books, remember that it is learning outside those very pages which is vital for your success. I'll leave you all with the words of Gerard Way. One day, your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's worth watching. Thank you.